Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm trying to decide what to do with my look. I want to color my beard, but if I'm going to have to shave it off, and it's not worth it, I don't know yet. The job that I put in for was supposed to be on the 20th, and they've told me they've moved the date to the 10th, which is Monday next week. So I told them, do you want the beard? Do you not want the beard? Do I need to color it? Do I not? What do you want? I haven't heard, so I'm in limbo. If I don't know by the weekend, I'm probably going to color the beard, but whether I get to keep it after that, I don't know. Anyhow, my appearance is not for you guys, although you can enjoy it if you like it or don't, but I have to do this for work. I have to have a younger appearance than my age to guarantee that I can get decent work, so I don't have to work as much and I can pick and choose where I work. Okay, for today we're going to talk about, it seems like the biggest problem in the Middle East, or in the world really, outside of Ukraine, which is, again, I've explained why Ukraine's going on. Two reasons. One, Russia wants a port city. So they're just basically clearing a corridor down so they can have a port city. Otherwise, they got to take everything out the top. And if you saw Hunt for Red October, all the ports that are on the top, those have winter to deal with. So anyhow, but in the Middle East, it's Israel and Iran. And you go, but what am I hearing about Hamas and Lebanon and Syria and Iraq and all the other ones? If Iran wasn't paying for it and supplying the arms, you wouldn't hear anything from them. So Iran's the culprit. So why are they not going directly to war? Well, they know the scriptures as well as we do. They know Ezekiel 38. If they go directly to war with Israel, God's going to step in and kick their hiney. That's about as plain as I can make it. So they're not going to get directly involved. They're using their proxies. Now, eventually they will be. If you notice in the Ezekiel 38 war, when we've covered that, and I'll cover it again shortly, the countries right around Israel aren't involved. Egypt's not involved. Lebanon, Syria, they're not involved. We got the countries over in the area of Russia, because they're Magog, essentially. I don't know if Putin's Gog, but in any case, that's where they're coming from, and they're going to bring other allies in. We're going to have some, we're going to see here, we're going to have some from Africa, Libya, Sudan, and some Mediterranean. We're going to have Turkey be involved. So those are the players, but Iran's not going to do anything direct, because they don't want the wrath of God. So what's the big deal with Iran? Why are they, talked about this way? Well, the Bible answers that. I think in 2010 they came out with a video game called The Prince of Persia. And people were playing the game. Were they aware that they're playing a demon? Probably not. But that's who the Prince of Persia is. So he's been talked about for years, but nobody really has studied it properly, except for religious scholars. So they don't know who it is and what's going on. What is going on across the street? Somebody pulling out from the dirt road. Anyhow. So, the Persian Empire, which is Iran, is mentioned a number of times in the Bible, mostly by the prophets. Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, even Esther. They talk about Persia. Did I miss the invite to the party? What is this? can't see. It's too late. So anyhow, Persia changed their name to Iran for a number of reasons. One, they wanted to have this new Ayatollah government have their own name, and Persia is a Greek name, so they didn't want that. They also didn't want to associate with it. They didn't want people to think about it. And we'll see some of the scriptures why we know what's going to happen. So they changed it to Iran from Persia in 1935. The new designation kind of distracts from who they are and what they're doing. Okay, so let's take a look at Daniel. Who are these people? They're driving way too fast in a 25. They're driving 50 in a 25. We had some teenagers in the campsite next to us try to go in and crash the closed area further down. They close that at night. They tried to crash it and have a party. Rule number one, if you're trying to sneak into a hidden party, don't make so much noise that you wake everybody up along the way, which they did. They woke me up at about 11 o'clock. The park's supposed to be quiet at 10. They're not supposed to go into closed areas. They got caught. People don't think anymore. This is globally as well as like last night. Okay. Daniel 10:11. He said to me, Daniel, you are a man who is highly precious. Consider carefully the words that I am about to say to you. Stand up, for I have now been sent to you. And when he had said this to me, I stood up trembling. Daniel knows who he's talking to. All right, that's a host four-wheeler, so that's okay. And 12, do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you proposed to understand and to humble yourself before God, your words were heard. You want God to hear you? Come to him properly. And I have come to in response to them. So the angel's coming to him. However, in 13, the prince of the kingdom of Persia opposed me. The prince of Persia stopped the angel from coming to him for 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to me, for I had been left there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the latter days, for the vision concerns those days. We're not going to get into the vision right now. That's for another time, but we're seeing it's talked about Persia. And the prince of Persia was opposing an angel to talk to Daniel. They're not good. Demon controlled. Now the earliest mention of Persia is probably coming from Ezekiel, which I think is about 600 BC. And I'm not going to say BCE. It's AD and BC. If you want to be politically correct, go sit on your father, the devil's side. It's year of the Lord, or it's BC. Okay, so you can see it in Ezekiel in 27:10 and Ezekiel 38:5. I think we're going to look at that. So turn with me to Ezekiel 38:5. Ezekiel 38, that's the Gog-Magog war. Okay, I'm skipping down to verse 5 because we just want to get the connection. So it says, Persia, Cush, and Put will accompany them with their shields and helmets. Come down there with their defensive gear. They're not coming to attack. Russia's going to have the offense. Now, Cush is located south of Egypt. It's basically the southern part of Egypt and Sudan. So that's where it's coming from. Put is coming from Libya. So you can see all the players that need to be. Those are the ones that are going to be part of this final battle. And they're not fighting now. The proxies that are involved right now are going to go away. Either they're going to quit because they're not being supplied with funds. Hamas was supplied with arms and funds from Iran, some of which came from our own government because we gave billions of dollars to Iran. Our government is sponsoring terrorism. There's a price to pay. How much are the people going to pay? I don't know. But the government is definitely going to pay. So, those are our players. I just kind of wanted to do a quick video on that to just explain to you the Prince of Persia is demonic. And he will be involved in the end times. So, Iran/Persia is not going to go away easily. They will be destroyed by God. Not completely. All the bad players are never going to be completely destroyed. Some cities will be, but the bad players are going to come back around after the millennium and be part of the Armageddon battle. He's not going to wipe them out completely because he needs to have. We still need to have good versus evil here. Give people a choice. And even in a millennium with no Satan, he's locked up, they're still going to corrupt themselves. Just not as fast. See, we have the problem. It's our sin nature that's the problem. Satan, the devil made me do it. No, he doesn't make you do anything. He tempts you to do things and you do it because you want to. Who was that? Flip Wilson or somebody that used to do that. The devil made me do it. It's a cop-out. You can resist the devil and he will flee. The Bible tells us so. You can say to the devil, get behind me, and he has to. If he's out in the way blocking and causing problems, tell him to get behind you. That'll clear the way straight ahead. He has to obey God and his agents. See, Satan doesn't have any power. He wants you to think that he's equal to God, but he's not. Resist him all the way you can, as far as you can. And if you fall, get right back up, get to Jesus, say, I'm sorry I fell, and get right back in the game. Keeping an eye on the Middle East, we can see that this war is going to continue and it's going to escalate. It's going to take the Antichrist to come in and bring peace. I'm hearing water again. I thought the rain was done. That might just be wind knocking the water off the trees. We had rain this morning, that's why I'm a little later than normal doing my video. It's about lunchtime. In fact, I've already eaten. Because I had to wait for the rain. I can't open this. I'm in my tent. You can kind of see it moving behind me. That's the screen mesh. So when I open my sides up like this, I get a beautiful view of the outside. And the temperature is just right. It's cool. It's not hot. The rain's keeping things cool. Get out and enjoy it. God created this for us to enjoy. You don't have to stay like I'm doing. That's not necessary. All you have to do is just show up for a day. You can get a day pass. Might cost $20. I don't know what it costs. I know you got to have a parking pass, which is $5, but I do this all the time, so I buy a yearly pass. And if you're old like me, you get a senior discount at state parks. Most parks will do that. I think even the county parks have a senior discount. Some of them will give you a military discount as well. And if you're disabled for any, legally disabled, you get a big discount at parks like this. So take advantage of it. I see my friends in here that I'm used to camping with. There's one couple that just left today. They've been here a few days, and I've seen them before here, and I've seen plenty of other campers here that I keep. We all kind of make the circuit. But you can only stay in a state park for 2 weeks, so they have to get out. So I may not see them. We might not overlap. But enjoy this time. It's not going to be pretty here soon. For some people around the world, it's already quite ugly. We've been blessed in the Americas that we are immune to a lot of it because we've had a foundation on Jesus. It's eroding fast, though. And God has got to be fit to be tied with our leadership. But it's there on purpose. Nothing happens without God's approval, if not deliberate involvement. Satan's going to get his 15 minutes of fame. Can't stop it. We can slow it down. We can keep him from starting, which is kind of what we're doing. We're the restraining force. But he will get his 15 minutes. But that's about it. And then it's over. And he won't bother anybody, ever again once we get to the end. Because he'll be cast into the lake of fire forever. And hopefully we will enjoy our new bodies. Our new bodies that have no sin in them. The sin nature won't follow. What Jesus did is to help us to bridge the gap until we get those new bodies. And eventually we'll all be together, so the end is good. It's what's coming next is the bad stuff. Continue to be ready. I know the parable about the bridesmaids and their oil. Yes, they have to keep their lamps full, but so do we. We have to keep our lamps full as well. The 7 churches have lamps, candles and candle stands. The Spirit is considered oil. That's the analogy. So we got to keep our spirit full so we can deal with what's coming. Okay, until we meet in the clouds, God bless. A friend of mine here, and this little tree just fell over. It's not a big tree. There's a big tree right next to it. You never know. It looks healthy except for at the base. Something was eating at it. Lesson in life: make sure your foundation is stable.